Hey everybody, it's What If Geeks, and it's John.
Hey, it's Paul.
And there's no Eric. This is the same September 17th. This will be episode 2 for the week, I guess. We just got done recording our first Halloween episode of 2019, so I'm excited. But then I realized, normally we'll hang out and do like a second episode, and we didn't even prepare one, but there was a few things that we were talking about right before that episode that Paul and I completely glossed over, didn't even talk about because we were so excited to talk about Halloween.
Yep.
So I guess my excitement for the holiday is contagious. So we were talking about this trailer and that whatever before we sat down, and then immediately we were like, so Halloween, huh? Yeah, and that was it. And so we didn't do any of this. So we're like, well, that could be our second episode, and we'll see how close we can get to making some of our fans who would request a shorter episode happy, because we didn't plan this one, so I think it's going to be quick. But what we didn't do, very depressed. That's what she said. I guess it's going to be quick again. Speaking of a quickie, there you go, dad jokes. Florida Man. Oh, we haven't done Florida Man in a little while.
Florida Man, where have you been?
But Florida Man has been doing himself, or herself, or themselves. The first one I got, we actually both picked it out because, great minds think alike, and so do we. The sheriff's office in, where the hell was this? Nassau County. They pulled over a couple of people for a DUI on bicycles, and when they arrested them, these two had sex in the back of the patrol car while still handcuffed. That's one, dedication to your craft,
exactly.
I guess. I don't know how, really? That's good. Did they handcuff him in the front? I'm wondering, because I have so many questions right now. If they handcuffed them properly in the back, they were, they were sitting next to each other in the back of the patrol car, so one undid the other one, and then, and if you look at this picture of these two, I'm literally wanting to stab myself for picturing what I just pictured.
Yeah.
Because these two do not look like people you want to see getting it on at all.
She is covered, because I initially found the same story. She is covered in
she fell off the bike, I bet.
Cuts or bruises.
They knocked her ass off that bike.
Something happened. Her face is literally like she fell off a moving motorcycle, sort of. Like she's got road rash.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were DUI on bicycles, so. And he doesn't look, no, he's got a fat lip, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so they were in the back of the patrol car. They took up their clothes and began to have sex. And
you get arrested for DUI and you're back at the car. Thank goodness this has never happened to me, but I can't imagine you'd be like, we should just do it right now.
Yeah. I mean, is that a bucket list thing, or is that just we're already arrested, let's see how many charges we can rack up?
What's the worst they're going to do? Arrest us? We're already arrested, yeah.
I'm just wondering, what is the mindset that goes into that? Because it's Florida, so.
Yeah. But that is, the cops are like, all right, I already got to take your two dumbasses downtown and book you, and that's a pain, but, now I'm going to have to hose out the back of my car.
Yeah. Now I got to hose you off in the back of the car and everything else. And again, not two people that you necessarily want to see.
Yeah.
Sorry to those fine, upstanding citizens and representatives of our great state. It's more stories like this that make me feel like I'm at the peak.
Right.
And I'm like, really?
I'm the apex of humanity.
I'm the pinnacle down here? Holy shit. We are in a lot of trouble.
Holding it down for the regular folks.
Go ahead. What's yours?
All right. This one's just kind of fun. Florida man spray paints the word slur in bar bathroom. Police say.
Slur.
Yes. He did not actually write a slur. He wrote the word slur. So he didn't write the N-word or something else.
He just wanted to cover them all.
Correct.
Okay.
A Florida man who spray painted the word slur in a bar bathroom was found with spray paint cans still in his backpack, according to Melbourne Police Department.
That's not too far.
So this guy initially goes into a bar. He's at some bar Sunday night with his backpack, and then he literally spray painted the word slur, S-L-U-R, and then still had the paints on him, hung out for another 15 minutes or so, and then left. And then they're like, we could hear the paint can rattle around, and now what's going on? And you got paint on you? And he's like, well, I went in there, but I didn't paint anything. And they're like, you have paint in your backpack. So they arrested him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. There you go. We are, again, Apex.
No domestic violence, no hitting anybody with a burrito or cookie dough or
no, amazingly, no throwing food.
Yeah.
I mean, well, unless you want to count the hair pie in the back of the cop car. There you go.
One guy threw a sausage around.
And there go our sponsors. Right. Didn't take long on that one. That was, 6 minutes, not even. Under 6 minutes, we got rid of the sponsors. Right. All right, cool. Holy shit. We set records. Oh, my God. Yours with the castration. No, yeah, the castration.
The fetish, yeah.
The fetish, yeah, that was like within 3 minutes. That was amazing. Yeah, so there's your Florida man story. It's our wonderful superhero down here, and he never ceases to amaze. I told Paul right before we started recording, I was like, oh, what else we haven't done in a couple of weeks is Florida man. He was like, yeah. I was like, do you even have any? He's like, no. I said, surprisingly, I'm actually getting emails from Florida man.
Right.
Because I follow the Reddit.
The Reddit page.
Yeah, so now it's shooting me emails, and I'm like, you're just volunteering yourself. Like, now, okay, here, every time I say, hey, you guys that are listening, submit like a Florida man story or a similar story from your hometown. Well, Florida itself is like, fuck it, here you go, What If Geeks.
Yeah, jackasses keep getting arrested and doing crazy stuff.
Here's all your stories. Yeah. So, yeah, this is one of the ones I got emailed. It was great.
That's funny.
All right, so also in the history of Halloween, there were a few things that we didn't talk about. We didn't open with because we were jumping right into Halloween. So that, ironically, the entire episode is nothing but Halloween shit, so it's cool. So this is like all the other shit for this week that we kind of popped up with. One was something that popped online. I want to say it was just a couple of days ago. And I think from what I heard was this thing dropped on TV. Like it just showed up on TV and people were watching it. And then it showed up on YouTube for a little while. And I found it. And I asked Paul, have you seen this Jurassic World thing that showed up? And he said, no. So the thing is called Jurassic World Battle at Big Rock. And it's an 8-minute short that I guess it continues after the last Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, right? And it's a really unique way, like, because there was no precursor to this. Like, even
right.
Like, I watched it with Heather, and she was like, "What happened with this?" And you said,
I had the same thing.
You
yeah.
said, how did you find this? I mean, it just showed up.
Yeah.
They didn't say like, "Oh, we're releasing a short," or "Oh, look, like look for the new Toy Story short in front of picture."
Right.
Yeah, there was none of this kind of shit. It just boom. Here's an 8-minute thing.
It's also there's no setup. There's no setup to it. Like, following the events of blah blah blah.
Right.
Dinosaurs now roam.
Yeah, it just
North
opens
America.
up
Yeah.
Amblin Entertainment,
Correct.
and then you see like the Jurassic Park dinosaur over the world,
Yep.
kind of right. So you know it's Jurassic World, and that's it. And then it just opens up on this 8-minute clip that is it's a family camping, and go ahead. I'll let you kind of jump in on this one. So it's a family camping.
Yeah, they're clearly
a
in some kind of
family.
Yes, they're
They're a newly family.
They're clearly a newly blended family, and they're in what looks like some kind of campground or RV park or something like that. And the husband and actually I don't know that they're married.
They know the other people because they're talking to a couple of their neighbors.
Yeah, so. And so they come in and they're getting ready. Dad's grilling, and they get inside and they start dinner, and they're having a conversation about like the good things that happened that day. And the daughter sort of narks on the older kid that says, Charlie, let him shoot his crossbow. So he yells out, hey, don't let my 8-year-old shoot your crossbow. And at that point, answer. Right, there's no answer. And then at that point, you start to hear some rumblings outside, and the lady goes, the wife, whatever, says, is that a bear? They're looking at it like, is it a bear? And it turns out to be a dinosaur.
Yeah. Not a Triceratops, but one similar to it. And an article I read or something I heard online actually said which one it was. Sorry, I'm not a big dinosaur guy, but it just had 2 horns. It wasn't a Triceratops.
Right.
But they're watching this thing come out, yeah.
Right, and it's sniffing around the fire and looking through their campground stuff, clearly foraging for food, and then you see that it's got a baby, and the kids are like, "Oh, look, it's a baby," yeah. And then they're all discussing what kind is that, and the daughter says it, and
she says, "Oh, it's an herbivore.
It's an herbivore. We're kind of okay.
We don't have to worry about it." Yeah,
yeah. And then you hear the growl, and you hear what looks like. It looks kind of like a velociraptor. They say what it is, but it's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger than a velociraptor. It's bigger than this thing.
Not as big as a T-Rex.
The article I read had it in there, so you can go back and Google this thing. There's articles on all over the place now.
It's got kind of smallish T-Rex arms, but it's not it's not as big as a T-Rex. Yeah. And it starts a fight, and then it grabs the baby by the head, and you're like, "Oh no, this is gonna end badly for the baby." Baby gets away.
The baby dinosaur thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
In the fight. Their RV gets smashed. And
they separate. They separate. The dinosaurs separate from each other. And this family is continuing to look out the window, which at multiple points I'm like, get away from the fucking window.
Yeah. The male of the, not Triceratops, but whatever kind of dinosaur that is, the male of that group
family
comes to sort of rescue the baby and rescue the female, and starts to engage with the other predator dinosaur. And in all that commotion, as stuff starts to happen, their RV gets rocked a little bit. There's young
a standoff, and the other ones leave, and there's just that carnivore there.
The young baby in this family, right, baby human, starts to cry, and that attracts the attention of this predatory carnivore dinosaur, who then, as the dad goes to shut the door, like punches his kind of head through the thing, and then starts going
flips
more,
the trailer,
and
which
ends up flipping the RV.
Reminds me of one of the first two Jurassic Park movies where there was something like that happened.
Yep.
Where there was a whole big flipping of
and then it's trying to get at the tiny baby who is strapped into whatever chair he's in. Parents get him. It continues to kind of put its face through the RV to try to get at the family, and Dad's going to
coming after them.
Dad's
trying to fight him off
with a sharpened piece of the RV hull.
Yeah.
Mom ends up shooting it with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah. That was my only point of contention in this entire 8-minute thing. That fire extinguisher shot really far.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really powerfully.
Yeah. Like, it was a very concentrated blast out of this thing. And if anyone's ever used one of these, it's a larger fire extinguisher, but it's large for an RV, number one.
Yeah.
And if anyone's ever used one, this thing shoots like absurdly far and concentrated.
Yeah.
But okay, fine. Outside of that, that was my one flaw. I was like, even the first time I watched it with Heather, I was like, that thing's shooting really far. Really?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Turns out everybody gets away. So what happens is they're in this standoff.
This thing's getting ready to kill the parents,
right? And it gets shot in the face and the eye with a crossbow, and you are sort of led to believe it's either the neighbor or the older kid that shot the crossbow. And as camera pans, it's the younger
little
daughter,
girl, who the neighbor let shoot his crossbow. So it's obviously like she knows how to use it, and and so the parents are like, you did good, come here. And it shows that, and I'm going to have to go back and rewatch Fallen Kingdom now because there was a lot of bad reviews for it. And my wife watched it, she was like, it was all right.
I haven't seen it.
And you haven't seen either one of these. So you definitely got to watch the other one, first Jurassic World. Yeah. He's got, Chris Pratt, he's good in it, but like you said, he's the dinosaur whisperer. And then you have Bryce Dallas Howard, who teaches the world that you can outrun a T-Rex in high heels. I give it a pass because she's amazingly hot. I love that woman. She's sorry. Anyway, but yeah, that will be brought up again and again and again. She outruns a T-Rex in high heels at one point. Right. And you're just like, what in the fuck is going on? But the second one I also part of, so I will have to go back and watch it. Maybe I'll watch it this week now that this thing's got me amped up for it.
Yeah.
Because I heard mediocre things about it, and even my wife was like, it was okay. It wasn't, it wasn't as good as the last one. And so, spoiler alert, I guess, for even both of us, too, that I didn't watch the end of this thing. My wife thought it was over after this one for whatever happens in the movie, so I'll leave it there because she actually says it to me, and then she goes, "Oh wait, did you watch the whole thing with us?" I was like, "Yeah, thanks." So no, so something happens at the end of the last one, Fallen Kingdom, that she's like, "I thought that was it," So I'm like, "Well, it looks like they're doing." They're in America now, right? Because these are clearly Americans. Yeah. And they even say, in the very beginning of it, there's news reports playing in the background yeah. that are like the first dinosaurs in America, blah, 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 whatever. So you are understanding, walking into this little snippet, that whatever happened in the last couple of movies, now these dinosaurs are free roaming. They're free-range dinosaurs, so they must be amazing to eat.
They're organic.
They're organic. They're wandering around America now. And then you get into the credits.
Yeah, and so I almost stopped it, and John's like, "Nope, keep going."
Keep watching.
And there's little sort of mid-credit and post-credit vignettes of different things that happen to people now that dinosaurs are wandering in North America. And there's one where there's a stegosaurus in the middle of a road, and it's shot from the POV of the driver in a car.
Yeah, like a car cam, dash cam.
And as he swerves to get away from this giant armored tail, like he goes off the edge of a mountain.
Yeah, there's a little girl running through her field, and there's those little teeny tiny ankylosaurs, whatever the hell they are. They're very nipping tiny ones, literally nipping at her ankles, running after her, and she's screaming in terror. Yeah. And I think that's actually a video from the internet of. I thought I heard the door. The cat's in here. Hi, Jinx. I think that's actually taken from a video. They must have gotten permission to use it, or maybe they just recreated it. But I think there's a picture similar to that of this kid running around in a jacket screaming, and it's like chickens, like ducks,
right.
Or baby goats, whatever the hell. But there's something small, and she's terrified of them, and she's running. And that's exactly what it is, but these little baby dinosaurs are chasing her around.
And then there's a scene where this couple just gets married, and they go to release doves, and as the dove flies up, a pterodactyl grabs it.
It was epic.
There's another of people fishing in a lake.
And there's not a brontosaurus, but something similar, like one of those out there, just sitting there looking at them like, what's up?
Yeah, and then I think the final one is one of those great whites off the barrier reef, one of those air jaws.
Jumping into the air to eat a seal. Yeah. Like it knocks a seal up into the air, jumps out of the water, and then right behind it
is the megalodon.
The megalodon from Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like...
Or the
they all look alike, sorry.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it would just the giant mouth,
huge mouth,
grabs the whole thing.
As big as the shark looks compared to that seal, that's what this thing looks like compared to the shark.
Yeah,
and Paul was like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "I told you."
Yeah.
Again, no matter like the reviews on the other ones, this right here, like if that's what this next movie is going to be, I am all in.
Yeah, that's a good premise.
It reminds me of, and I think we at some point discussed it. Remember back in the day, like when we were growing up, you had like the different. You go to like your ice cream man, and he would have like baseball cards, but he also had like Garbage Pail Kids or whatever. And I remember one of them in a comic book store had a card series called Dinosaurs Attack, and it was very similar to the Mars Attack, right? Where like in Mars Attack, you had, like it would just be a scene, and like so you look at the scene, and it would have a title like I don't know, chaos in the White House or whatever, and you would see like aliens and the president, and then you flip it over, it would give you like a brief description of whatever happened in that scene,
right?
That kind of thing. Dinosaurs Attack was the same thing, but it was like you had like not a velociraptor, but something like eating someone's puppy and or dog, and it's like this old woman who's like walking her dog, and you see the thing eating it at the end of the chain, and like she's trying to hit it with her walker, and it was all these weird things. But if you put them in order when you because they were collectible cards, right? When you put them all in order, and they had the little stick of pink gum that was hard as shit. You get these things in order. Maybe there was 100 of them or whatever, but it was a supposed time warp that had drug dinosaurs into nowadays. But then as you get to the very end of this thing, you realize that it's not really a time warp, but there is like some type of advanced race of dinosaur-like humanoid type beings, right? that are like trying to destroy the Earth or whatever. There's this whole thing, and there's like a dinosaur god thing that's trying to come through this portal or whatever. It's weird. It gets really weird at the end of this thing,
right?
But at the very beginning, it's just funny because like, you get like, you know, the one dinosaur that's getting ready to attack a house, and you got the granny that comes out with her shotgun and like shoots it out. So you see like the eye spraying out the dinosaurs. Wow. It's really cool. I'll show you before you leave. It's the dinosaur attacks. This, and I've said it before that I thought that would make an amazing Jurassic Park movie. It looks like they're doing it.
Interesting.
And if between now and, I don't know, 2020, 2021, whatever, Jurassic World 3, whatever the hell they're going to call it, comes out, if they do a few more of these little shorts, they're going to kill it. Yeah, that's it. Dinosaurs Attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to totally kill it if they do more of these shorts. Like just little things like bouncing around America. Holy shit. Can you imagine that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Because they put some money into this.
Mm-hmm.
This was,
it's really well done.
Yeah, and it was funny too because one thing I heard was, listening to a podcast earlier talking about it, they were like, what was the end result in this? Or the end game? What was their goal in doing this? Because this kind of came out of nowhere, right? And then one of the other guys had said, like, just much like me, like, ooh, I'm all in on this. And he had already checked out of the franchise, right?
Yeah.
So then one of the other girls on the podcast was like, I think that is the reason they did this.
Right.
Is to get the guys like you who were like, nah, I'm done with this. You see this and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And again, both of the last movies made $1 billion each.
Right. Oh, I didn't know.
So...
Well,
roughly,
and there's only so many times, right? You can have a story where we have to go to this island,
right,
to interact with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's inevitable, and that's what I kept saying. It's like if they do a dinosaurs attack style thing with this stuff, it would be amazing. Yeah. And it looks like they're going to do it. I hope to God they make this movie. It would be so much fun just to see, like, you can't do the scope of the card game, or not the card game, but the cards the collectible cards. Because it was like little snippets all over America, these things.
Right.
You kind of could. You can do like quick little shots of it. Hi, Jinx. Jinx just came to join us and hang out for a little while now. She can't get back in the house because she's stuck in the garage with us. Dummy. But there's this whole thing there where I guess you could do like a few little snippets, but have like, if you want to bring back Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, who I'll watch all day long, they can be like investigating these little things, right, and they can like do cutscenes to whatever is going on in these areas, something like that. You can make it really well.
Yeah, like you'd have to do sort of a almost the way the book World War Z is. As the book, they didn't really do this in the movie, but the book talks about the different zombie outbreaks in different parts of the world. Right, and then a coordinated effort to kind of try to control the problem.
Right.
That would be this, like these little excerpts about how the interaction between dinosaurs and people are not really working out well for people because things are crashing, cruise ships, right? Whatever would be the result of those interactions, they would all go badly for people. So you'd have to do these little stories like this one of people, beating one dinosaur or a group and having to sort of hunt them and eradicate this problem.
Yes. I'm chasing my cat.
Yeah, John was chasing the cat and now getting a beer.
I'm coming back. Sorry. She comes over here, she meows like she wants attention, but she won't shut up, so I threw her out of the garage.
Yeah, so it'd be that sort of, right, initially disjointed story, but then resulting in sort of having to hunt these things. And
yeah, you probably maybe like from a handful of those disjointed stories, you might get like a character who survives and joins Pratt, whatever, something like that. Yeah. You can do a really fun thing with this, I think. I think the key now that you've done this, though, you've got to have about 3 or 4 more of these. Mm-hmm. They're going to make a killing on that one. It's going to be fun. All right, so that was one that was like out of the blue. Go watch it. I know we just kind of ruined it for everybody, so.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, sorry. Jurassic World Battle of Big Rock. It's amazing. Next one that's coming out, they just dropped another trailer not too long ago, was Dr. Sleep. And you didn't even know what this was.
I didn't even know what it was.
All right, so Dr. Sleep is it's Stephen King. It's the sequel to The Shining.
Right.
So where young Danny Torrance is now grown Danny Torrance, and in this he's played by Ewan McGregor. So there you go, good casting. I guess. I mean, as far as character-wise, I don't know, but I like him as an actor. So good casting there. And basically, it looks like something is hunting and possibly killing people with the ability, the Shining, right?
That have the Shining.
The Shine. And now he's drawn back into this whole thing, and he's investigating it. So that's all I know. I know Heather's read it, and she said she liked it. So I guess I'm going to have to go read it.
Yeah.
I know I'm a horrible Stephen King fan. Like the last 2 or 3 books he came out with, I kind of skimmed through, but I was too busy reading comics and this and that, whatever. So there are about maybe 3 or 4 of his later books that I have not read all the way through. I have to sit down and read. So Dr. Sleep is one of them. So I'll check it out and let you guys know. But the trailer is online, and it looks pretty good. What do you think?
It looks okay.
Yeah.
The Shining is a great movie, right? Stanley Kubrick. It's a really good movie. A classic.
And ironically, Stephen King couldn't stand it.
Is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
It was made in 1980. I don't feel like there's needs to be a sequel.
No.
And I watched the trailer and I'm like, I think I like Ewan McGregor. Some of the stuff in it seems kind of cool, but if I don't leave a trailer like "take my money right now,"
it's been
I'm
so
just never gonna
long.
see
There's
this
not
movie.
much of a nostalgic thing there.
Right
now, all right, I kind of just threw that Stephen King bit out there. He didn't like it because one of the things he said was Kubrick he made Jack Nicholson's Jack kind of crazy from the start, and he's like, it's not the story version of him where you watch his slow descent into, which I get. In the book, you kind of have a little bit more of that. But, I saw what Kubrick was going for. That's fine, whatever. But that was his big problem with it, was he just didn't like the way the story was told a little bit. I had there was a little bit of that nostalgic where, I saw what they were going for. When you see where I don't know if he visits the hotel or if it's in a vision or whatever, but you see, he sees the door, parts of the hotel. He sees the door where his father attacked his mother. And, he puts his head in the bathroom door where where Jack broke the axe. Where he does the whole "Here's Johnny." Yeah, he puts his head in there just like Jack did, right? So there's a lot of little homages to the original, and they even do they show as he's remembering shit. He remembers the 2 little girls. He remembers the blood coming down the hallway. He little things like that. They flash back to the first movie to try to give you that, but I agree with you. It falls short of nostalgia. Where flip side, I guess we can kind of throw this in here as well. I think we briefly talked. Yeah, we did. The last Star Wars trailer they did, where they had all the bits from the previous movies, building up to the little bit that they showed. Then they showed Dark Ray with the Swiss Army lightsaber. Still, but that one pulled at you a little bit more than this did. And I think maybe just because The Shining has been out of the public consciousness for a while. So it's kind of like a... And it's
a psychological horror movie more so than it is gore. Right? And so it's not a slasher movie. It's not it's not one of those. So I loved it, but I don't know that it's on everybody's...
It's got its place.
Right.
Yeah. And it can come up in the conversation for this month. At some point, I'm sure it will come up in a conversation for favorite horror movies or whatever. It's definitely got its place. And I don't know. I guess I kind of feel like you, where I enjoyed the trailer and I like Ewan McGregor, but I don't know if it's more maybe it's a case of too little too late. But I know King just wrote Dr. Sleep not too long ago. So he revisited it, but is it going to work as a movie?
Right.
Now, a lot of his shit is getting re-looked at. What else can we do? Because of It. Right. Because It, Chapter 1 and 2, killed. I don't know what the box office is on 2 right now, but I keep telling people to go look at it. No, thanks. You can look it up. It's very good. They have there's reviews out there that are mediocre sometimes, but to me, what I keep telling people is you need to go into it. You got to realize that it's a sequel to a horror movie, the first one is always better, number one, in my book. And number two, it wasn't like it was a sequel to something that this guy just made. You know, Muschietti.
Yeah.
He had to somehow stick within the storyline of the book, too. So, where he had a little bit of freedom with the new Pennywise or whatever, kind of like, the new take on Pennywise, he still had to tell the same story, kind of. So
a story from Forbes 2 days ago says 155 million domestic and 323 million worldwide in just under 2 weeks.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say.
It Chapter 2 is a smash hit by any other comparison save for the first It.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's, because for a horror movie especially, horror movies typically make low.
Yes.
So that's good. That's really good for that. All right, good, I'm glad. So like, now that, and then the Pet Sematary remake. You haven't seen that either, right? No. I watched it with Jesse. It's good. I like it. I think, me personally, I like it better than the first one just because a little more modern effects. You know, it holds up a little bit better, a little scarier, and some of the freedoms that he took with Stephen King's blessing were better. It worked out better for the story, but that's good. So now you're on a Stephen King renaissance, you know, where a lot of his stuff they're looking at making again. We've had this conversation a few times, and I'm sure it's Halloween, and you know I'm the king of Halloween for this show, so Stephen King is going to be repeated numerous times because I love that dude. I had to stop following him on tweets though because all he does is talk politics. I'm like, aren't you a horror writer? Can't you like say anything at all remotely? And like one time he said something about one of his books. I was like, hey, there you go. I was like, everything is constantly just like bashing politics. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired of this.
The new Pet Cemetery, domestic 54 million, international 54 million.
Yeah, there you go. So
they're almost identical numbers. 54,724,000, international 54,776,000.
Yeah, so now you compare that to It Chapter 2, it killed it. Right. You know, so it killed that. I almost fucked that up. But so it did really good, and I enjoyed it, and I would suggest anybody go see it. Yeah. You have time, you go watch it. It's still in theaters. Go check it out. So there's going to be a big Stephen King thing going on here where they're re-looking at a lot of his shit, and I hope and pray that they get, at a minimum, the same caliber of people that did the Pet Sematary stuff, and I'm praying that they get guys that did, like Muschietti that did It. Yeah, you know what I mean. Right. Like I'm hoping they can get that kind of do all his shit that way. Oh my God! And then if they actually start to crisscross some of these movies like they do in the books, right? Ooh, like I'll be a happy dude.
The Stephen King Entertainment Universe.
Hell yes, the SKEU.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Dr. Sleep.
I'm
not excited.
I'm okay about it. I want to see it just because I like the actor in it. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll see as we get closer. But the last thing I want to talk about, because I was watching right before you got here, after we watched the Jurassic World Battle of Big Rock, Heather and I had my YouTube from my phone up on my TV. So it just jumped right into upcoming trailers and shit like that. So we were watching just these trailers and stuff. And there were a handful of them that were in there that were okay. But the one that I was like, oh yeah, shit, that's this week. Rambo Last Blood. Yep. What do you think?
I'm excited for this. I think a couple years ago, there were some jokes about, Sylvester Stallone is going to make Rambo movies till he's dead. Yeah. And then 2 more will come out after he dies.
Yeah. He'll be like Tupac.
Yeah. But this one looks really good.
It does.
And he's got to be, Stallone's got to be 70 years old, right?
And that will call back to, and we'll touch on it later, but like Heather's mentioned that too. She's like, isn't he like 70 or 80? She's like, really? And and that was the same thing. But, because there was, and the things with like the Rambo, much like the Rocky.
He's 73.
Holy shit.
He's older than my parents.
I need to start working out. Because he looks amazing in this fucking trailer. I need to start working out. Oh my god! Wow.
He's 73.
Thanks. So, you know what? If I start working out and I start getting in any kind of remotely decent shape, I'm just going to thank Sylvester Stallone for the rest of my life.
Right.
But Rambo and Rocky kind of went with, I would say, similar but not quite to like the Terminator shit, right? Where like they kept trying to make movies and it just wasn't working, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a little bit different because Sylvester Stallone was so invested in Rocky and Rambo that they went. It was a very 80s thing, right? And then it just became like, all right, are you going to keep on doing these? And then they kind of it died down for a little while. You didn't hear anything. And then they did Rocky Balboa. Yeah, just Rocky Balboa.
Well, there's a Rocky 5 that came out when I was in college.
That's when he fights Tommy Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
it makes logical sense in the arc of the thing, right? Because he's punchy and loses everything, so he's back.
Yeah, so he's back. He's back in Philly.
It's not a great movie.
No, it's not a great movie, but storytelling wise, it does a nice little arc.
Yeah.
To bring him back to he's back home, but he's still like this old celebrity kind of guy that everybody knows.
And then Rocky Balboa is sort of the same thing.
It is, but it's better.
Yeah,
on every level.
Yeah,
because that's the one where they're like, they do if you put him against the new champ, he beats him every time. They do the simulation.
Yeah,
and then people start to get in his head.
And what's weird is
the champ gets pissed and starts coming after him.
Rocky 5. Rocky doesn't fight Tommy Gunn in the ring. Like they fight in a bar, and then it spills out in the street.
This is my ring.
Yeah. But Rocky Balboa, they get him back in the ring.
Yeah. And it was cool because then that was the legit full circle where he fights him to the distance just like he did Apollo.
Yep.
He doesn't beat him. Yep. He just fights him to the distance. And the champs got respect for him. Like, dude, you're an old guy, but you whoop my ass. You know? So they do a good job there, but it was very similar. There was a small area there where it seemed a little hokey and really, you're going to keep doing this? And then it hit a good spot. Then they did Creed.
Yeah.
And Creed was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I would never take anything away from any of those guys. And Creed 2 was great. Yeah. I was like, holy shit. So they announced Rambo, Last Blood. And I was like, I know it's two separate characters, but I think with what he's been doing with Rocky and Creed, the character there, I think it gives you enough confidence in what he's going to do with Rambo Last Blood. Right? When they first announced it, I was like, I have enough confidence, especially when he names it Rambo Last Blood. It seems like he's going to come full circle with, right, this is when you first meet him in First Blood, and this is probably going to be, he may die at the end of this damn movie. It'll be it'll be
But there's poetic. The great thing about Creed is Rocky's he's not a bit character, but he's not the star of the movie, right? It doesn't revolve around him.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be who we passing the torch on to in Rambo that's going to keep this.
Yeah, right. This
you don't have
Rambo.
that thing. Right.
And if you remember, like I said, because Rambo First Blood, that was a completely different story.
Yep.
That was dude coming back from the war.
Yep.
Just wants to go.
He's passing through a small town.
Gets harassed. A small town. Wants to get a sandwich. And this small town cop, Brian
Dennehy.
Yeah, thank you. Harassed him. Amazing job in that role, right? And gets the guy to snap, and then
because they were going to force shave him.
Yeah, they were going to shave him, and that was the thing. Because first they battered him with the hoses and this, that, whatever. They just started treating him like an ass, and he started getting the PTSD started kicking in. And then when they went to go force shave him with his knife, he lost his shit. And he starts killing people, but only the cops. And then he goes off into the woods, and they're trying to hunt him, and that was a worse mistake. So the movie is a completely different movie, right? And the actual, I think the original one, they were gonna have him die,
right?
And they rewrote it. They're like, no, let's not, let's not do that. So then that was supposed to be the standalone story, but then the 80s action thing got big, and they can bring Rambo back. And if you remember, the first time they do is Colonel Troutman goes to see him in that this camp. He was he's trying to hang out with Buddhists or some shit. It's some weird like he's in a prison.
He's in a prison camp. Yeah.
He's in a prison camp.
Yeah.
So like he's serving time in a prison camp for whatever the hell but he's away from everybody.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need you back, whatever. And he convinces him to come help out. And then the next one is the same thing, basically.
Well, so, yeah, because what is Rambo, First Blood Part 2, they have to go, because there's some POWs they have to go get.
Yeah, and he goes to his POWs.
Correct. And then
and
3 is Afghanistan.
Yeah. So he's just...
And then 4...
Different race of target. And then Rambo 4 is just Rambo.
4 is, yes.
It's just Rambo, because this is essentially 5.
And
that was one my wife got a good copy of and sent me, and I watched it at home, and I was blown away by it, because it was...
He's in, like, Thailand, helping some missionaries or something.
Well, he's living by himself.
Yes.
He's at peace-ish, living by himself in this... Almost like, at first I thought it was a Vietnam thing, but he's in that culture, right? Mm-hmm. So he's in Thailand, he's hanging out, whatever. And these missionaries show up, and they want
him
guide.
a guide /
escort them to,
because they have medical supplies they're trying to get to some remote village.
And he tells them, "Don't do it.
Yep.
You shouldn't go there." And then they insist, so he's like, "Fine, I'll take you." And all hell breaks loose. Mm-hmm. And then he shows us, the one hot chick in the group that's apparently going to be like some type of love interest for the next 5 minutes of this movie, right? The one that's infatuated with him for the rest of this movie anyway. You always have that one in the movies. She learns what he really is, like he's this old veteran. And like the shit they did in that movie with the 50 cal on the back of the Jeep, right? Holy shit, just ripping people apart with this thing, right? It was amazing. So to me that went beyond the the Rambo standing there with the gun and the belt. To like, okay, now we're getting a little bit back to the First Blood, like a little more realistic, whatever. Granted, it's still him against an entire battalion.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, what's this? My favorite saying, the suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
You have to have that
the
level. I know it's Rambo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know it's pretty much going to be him against everybody, but they did it a little bit more realistic, and he's a little bit older, so he's doing it a little bit smarter. Mm-hmm. And then at the very end of that movie, spoiler alert, it showed, because she talks to him about, what are you doing out here? Why are you here? Why don't you just go back home? And then at the end of that movie, it's right at the end of the credits, I think, too. Mm-hmm. It shows him getting out of a car or whatever, and the car drives away, and he starts to walk down a walkway, and like down a dirt driveway, and then you see a mailbox that says Rambo.
Yeah.
And so he's going back home to like his father's land or whatever, and looked like it was a Texas kind of place, whatever. So now you're here. You've got Rambo Last Blood pops up, and you got this trailer. So go ahead.
Yeah.
You take it.
So I think it's really great. And he talks about, some of the mistakes of his past. You see him sharpening the sort of iconic knife.
Yeah.
And obviously something happens with a niece.
It's either a niece or a friend's daughter gets caught up.
She calls him
in
Uncle
cartel.
John. So, yeah. So it's either an actual niece or someone he thinks of as a niece that refers to him as uncle. They're in some clearly Texas borderish town near Mexico. Something happens with a cartel. She either gets kidnapped or something happens.
Yeah, the SJWs would have loved this one.
And
sorry,
right, and then he's just going to go complete apeshit on this cartel in some way. What I'm interested to see is there's a scene where he looks like he's on the roof of something, and he's literally surrounded by cartel guys, all of which who have guns drawn on him, and so it's hard to tell where in the movie this is, if that's
right
the beginning of the confrontations or the end. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Like it was one of those where they tried to disarm him and get rid of him or something like that.
Yeah. And then how he's going to get out of that. And then there's various scenes of him doing, like in the prep for them to come attack his land.
Rambo shit. Yeah.
Right. In the prep scenes.
He's prepping. He's like A-teaming it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
where he puts the rounds,
buries them.
He buries them so people will step on him, blow their feet off.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shit. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for this.
And then ultimately there's a scene where he's walking, he's got the knife, there's 2 bullet holes in him. He's bleed. You see his back
bleeding,
and there's 2 bullet wounds. He's bleeding all over the place. but at some point he raises the knife to go to stab somebody.
Yeah,
It's
like
hard
it
to
looks
tell.
like he's got somebody, because in the other trailer too, there was somebody. It looks like he's got somebody hanging in his
Barn,
right? And he's walking toward him slow.
Yep.
So you can tell he's injured, and that's when he raises the knife and looks really pissed.
Yeah.
And yeah, at that point, looking at the wounds that you see in the first trailer, I was like, that's when I thought he's gonna die in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because that looked, and I was afraid that. Oops, excuse me. I was afraid that they might be giving away too much in these trailers now, because I'm like, that looked like the end of the movie. Like he got whoever the head of the cartel was.
right?
So spoiler alert for a trailer that's out there. They may have already spoiled the movie, but I don't know. Even still, though, this got me so hyped.
Yeah.
For this damn movie that I'm like, yeah, I cannot fucking wait for this. This is gonna be amazing.
It's out Friday, right?
Yeah, it's out this week. So now I gotta figure out when the fuck I'm gonna watch this thing. It might have to be like a boys' day. Like you and I just kind of roll out one day.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm off Friday. Let me run it by the boss and figure out what the fuck I'm doing.
That's right.
I'm gonna figure it out. So yeah, so those are like 3 things that we've been looking forward to, and then Florida Man too. Look at that. You see, like we're at 46 minutes.
Nice.
We couldn't make it. Even on an unplanned one, we got a bullshit. 46 minutes, and that's it. We're gonna wrap it up so some of you people can be a little bit happier. We'll drop this one on Friday, so you'll get it then. Let us know what you guys think. Go watch the Jurassic World Battle at Big Rock, the Dr. Sleep trailers, the Rambo Last Blood trailers, and we'll get them loaded up onto the website too. If I can get a link to the Battle at Big Rock, I'll put that up on the website.
Yeah.
But check them out and let us know what you think. Hit us up, whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks@gmail.com. This is getting a lot.
At What If Geeks on all the stuff. Facebook,
at all the
Instagram, Twitter.
shit. Instagram. So just look us up. Find us. And let us know what you guys think. All right, we'll talk to you later. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Mom.